Hey everyone, before we jump into today's chapter, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss a new audiofic. Your support really helps keep these stories coming. Now, let's dive in. In Konoha, I will speak on your behalf to both the shinobi and civilian councils, Sasuke. The gruff male voice belonging to Shimura Danzo said, as a pair of red eyes with three tomoe each stared back at him. As one of Tsunade's advisors, I can convince the members of both councils that it is time for Tsunade to step down and for an Uchiha to take the reins of power in this village. After everything the third did to my clan, after everything he forced Itachi to do, Sasuke growled as he stepped forward. Yes, it's time an Uchiha took over. The elite founding clan of this village will control it after years upon years of betrayal. You've proved your worth to me as my pupil, the gruff voice continued, while Sasuke crossed his arms and glared at the councilman. But the will of fire is ingrained in this village. It is the very same will of fire that has seen the disappearance of the Kyuubi without any consequences. It is that same will which has led Tsunade to refuse to force the Kyuubi brat back to Konoha. Is that why you call me here, Danzo? Sasuke asked with a sneer at the mention of Kyuubi. To bring Naruto back? You found him? Yes, Danzo replied with a stoic expression. Huh. I would prefer him alive, Danzo clarified. Him and his pregnant wife. Sasuke chuckled. Naruto married? And having a kid? Are you joking? No, Danzo said in a serious tone. The Uzumaki and the baby must be returned alive. If the little monster is still not born, then the mother must be returned alive. If the child has been born, the mother is of no use to me. Sasuke pressed his lips together and smirked. The baby will be key, Danzo continued. Once born, he will be the vessel of the Kyuubi, a vessel I will train. If Uzumaki dies during the retrieval process, then the chakra that makes up the Kyuubi will dissipate and the weapon will be out of Konoha's hands for years, perhaps even centuries. Fine, I'll bring him back alive. Sasuke growled, clearly unhappy with the order. Oh, how he would like to kill Danzo. But since he was bound to the Elder for now via the seal on his tongue, which would vanish once he became Hokage and left Root, all Sasuke could do was follow orders. And then we'll get rid of Tsunade. Danzo reached into his robe and took out a scroll, handing it to Sasuke. Take the scroll. It contains the seals to pierce the barrier protecting the island of Uzushigakure. Danzo explained. Sasuke grabbed it just as three other figures landed behind him. One of them placed a hand on his shoulder, pink hair framing her face. Sasuke turned his head over his shoulder and met the jade eyes of one of his three wives, assigned to him by the Elder Council. Let's go, Sakura, Sasuke said gruffly. Next to the blushing Sakura stood a shinobi with a fake smile plastered on his face. We are bringing the traitor back to Konoha, Sai asked. Yes, Sasuke replied while Sakura looked down at the pouch on her left hip. She then looked back up. I have my senbon prepared, she said. Sounds like fun, eh, Sasuke-kun? The third figure said in a sweet voice. Sasuke turned his head and frowned at the red-haired woman, his second wife under the Clan Restoration Act, before nodding. Yes, Karin. He then looked back at Danzo. We're going. Get the councils prepared for my ascension, Danzo. With that, Sasuke rushed off, followed by his team. Danzo stood with a smirk on his face. Soon the Kyuubi brat would be dragged back to Konoha. The creature would then be extracted and implanted into one of his root disciples temporarily, at least until the true vessel was born. If the child survived, the monster would be sealed into it before Naruto and his wife were executed publicly for betraying the village. As for Sasuke becoming Hokage, Danzo told himself that Sasuke would be taken care of once he returned with Naruto. There was no way an Uchiha would hold that seat, not when Danzo himself intended to claim it. He turned and shuffled down the walkway, making his way to a dimly lit hallway. After a few meters, he turned left, then right, and entered a small room. His stoic expression did not waver as he looked at the beaten, bleeding man hanging by his wrists from chains attached to the ceiling. No one had known where the QB brat had gone. No one knew if he was still alive. No, that wasn't correct. Danzo knew Naruto was alive. He simply hadn't known where he was. And now, after 7.5 years of exile in the last place anyone would think to look, the QB would finally be his weapon. Naruto had vanished in the middle of the night. The spies Danzo stationed at the hospital to watch him had been knocked unconscious. They had no idea who had taken him. Danzo had his suspicions, but acting on them at the time would have brought Tsunade's wrath down on him en route. It had taken almost everything he had to uncover where Naruto had been taken while still unconscious after the beatings from Sakura and the other villagers that fateful day. Tsunade, Shizune, Jiraiya, Danzo thought as he stared at the beaten man. And this man, he is nothing. His daughter is nothing. And now she and the QB brat are married and about to have a child. The child of the current container will make the perfect new container. He turned to the root operative beside him, a man from the Yamanaka clan, and ordered, "Wipe his mind of everything he revealed. Heal his injuries, clean him up, and take him home." The masked root member nodded, and Danzo walked out. Now, it is just a matter of time. Meanwhile, at the Hokage Tower, 6 people stood at attention before their leader, frowns on their faces as they listened. None of them could believe what they were hearing. "Hokage-sama," Shikamaru said after Tsunade finished speaking, "if Danzo-sama is planning to supplant you, then shouldn't we..." "Ever since Naruto was sent away," Tsunade interrupted, "the civilian and shinobi councils have been steadily gaining more power despite my efforts to curb them. Their lies against Naruto have turned the entire village against him, and we don't believe the rumors, Hokage-sama," a blue-haired beauty said. A scruffy brown-haired boy and a large dog stood beside her. I regret not coming to his defense, and what happened, Shikamaru said, hands in his pockets. Right now, the main concern is shifting those negative attitudes toward Naruto to something positive, or at least neutral. "The civilian council has been after him for the longest time," Tsunade said, leaning back with a fierce look in her eyes. "They got their chance after Sasuke was brought back. The shinobi council was supposed to balance them out. They know how important Naruto is to the village. They know it was him who stopped Gaara from destroying it during the Chunin exams, and they knew of Sasuke's betrayal. Then how were they able to supersede your authority, Hokage-sama?" Neji asked from beside Tenten. Tsunade sighed. "They went over my head directly to the daimyo. The civilian council unanimously claimed Naruto's..." She sneered. "Violent conduct against the Uchiha made him a danger to the village. Somehow, the shinobi council went along with it. That was the strangest thing. Tsunade knew that some of the clan heads, Nara, Akimichi, Sarutobi, and Yamanaka in particular, were aware Naruto was the son of the Yondaime, and they would never normally allow such a fate for him. And yet, they had still voted for execution. When Tsunade demanded an explanation afterward, all they could tell her was that they had felt compelled to accept Danzo's reasoning. And revealing he's the son of the Yondaime, Choji began. "I still can't believe it," Kiba cut in, shaking his head. Choji popped a potato chip into his mouth before continuing. "It would help in changing attitudes toward him." "And you have proof, Hokage-sama?" Tenten asked. "About Naruto being the Yondaime's son?" "I do," Tsunade said. "Asuma found a sealed box buried beneath the Sarutobi home during renovations. The seal could only be opened by the next Hokage. I suppose Sarutobi sensei thought Jiraiya, myself, or Kakashi would succeed him. The box contained instructions for Naruto to be told the truth once he became a Jonin or turned 18. Sensei believed that by then, Naruto would be strong enough to defend himself and have friends to protect him from enemies targeting him for his lineage. With friends like the Uchiha, Ino, and Sakura, plus most of the villagers, why would Naruto even need enemies? Kiba snarled. Shikamaru pressed his lips together and frowned at the mention of Ino's name. We were not able to assist him either, Shino said. We could not understand the irrational anger Sakura, Ino, and the other villagers felt toward Naruto, nor the irrational support they gave the Uchiha. That's the longest I've ever heard you speak, Kiba muttered. Shino only shrugged. None of this information goes to Ino, Sakura, or Karin, Tsunade said firmly. Their status as the Uchiha's wives mean they have no right to know anything about this mission. As of now, this is an S-class mission to protect and retrieve Naruto. Hi, they all answered. There is something else you should know, Tsunade said, her gaze flicking briefly to Hinata before looking away. She knew the Hokage's deep feelings for Naruto. She had seen the way Hinata regretted not defending him from the beatings years ago, and she had witnessed her sobbing when news came that he was missing. It was obvious to Tsunade that Hinata loved him. She's with Kiba now, from what I've seen and heard, but still, Tsunade took a deep breath. As I've said, I have been in contact with Naruto through Jiraiya. The agreement was that we leave him alone. Okay? Shikamaru said, pushing thoughts of Ino's involvement to the side. The others nodded. Naruto is married and has a child on the way, Tsunade said, surprising everyone. She glanced at Hinata, whose eyes had gone wide, before looking away. As for who he married, that will be up to you to find out. She leaned forward, steepling her hands. Tell Naruto there will be a lot of changes. Tell him that... She paused, sighing as she looked toward the window and the Hokage monument below. Finally, she looked back at them. Tell him he's needed. You have the location of the rendezvous point where Jiraiya will be waiting. Dismissed. In Uzushigakure. The last thing Naruto remembered was walking back toward the village. They had just entered the land of fire, following his encounter with Sasuke at the Samurai Bridge. He had only just fought Sasuke after the latter killed Danzo and tried to murder both Sakura and Kakashi. Sakura. Naruto still remembered her telling him she loved him. Growing up, Naruto had never felt love or had love to give to someone else. After all, he had been scorned by the villagers, at least by most of them. He was ignored, pushed away, and denied the things he saw other children receiving from friends, family, or even strangers. He had been attracted to Sakura from the very first day he saw her at the academy, and that attraction still lingered. So when she told him she loved him, Naruto didn't know if she truly meant it. His gut told him she didn't. It was the same instinct he relied on in battle, the one that, with the help of his clones, guided him to victory. And that same instinct told him Sakura was lying. He had called her out on it. Sakura became angry. She said she thought he wanted to hear her say those words. She wanted him to give up on Sasuke based on a lie, or at least what he believed was a lie. Then, at the Samurai Bridge, she still proclaimed her love for Sasuke, even after the Uchiha tried to kill both her and Kakashi. Despite all that, Naruto was still drawn to her, but he didn't know if he could love her. He didn't know if he could love anyone. Glancing back at Sakura, who was walking next to Sai with her head down, he thought, she hasn't met my eyes since I woke up after being poisoned. Turning his gaze forward again, he sighed. I felt it in my gut that she lied. But maybe I'm just being stupid. It was mid-stride when Naruto felt his body freeze. Dizziness washed over him as pinpricks of pain shot up and down his spine before radiating outward. He felt himself falling forward. He felt himself falling toward the ground as Kakashi, Sai, Yamato, and Kiba called out for him. The loudest voice was Sakura's, one of worry and sheer terror. Naruto! Then everything went silent and dark. He felt as if he were floating in the air, the sensation lasting for what seemed like seconds, though it might have been longer. Slowly the feeling faded, and he realized he was lying on something soft. Am I on a bed? Naruto-kun. His heart jumped at the gentle voice that pierced the darkness. It was familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. The voice was muffled and distant. but tender. Naruto-kun, can you hear me? The woman whispered sweetly. Something warm and damp pressed against his forehead, carrying a sweet scent unlike the musky towels in his bathroom. You're home, she said softly. It wasn't Sakura's voice, that much he was certain of. Sakura would never call him Naruto-kun. Hinata? He wondered, then mentally shook his head. No, she wasn't stuttering. He remembered Hinata standing up to pain, declaring her feelings for him. Was that love? Still, this voice wasn't hers. His mind flashed back to their earlier journey, walking through a forest in daylight, the sun's warmth filtering through the canopy. But now, he felt only cool air on his skin. You had a fever, Naruto-kun, the voice whispered, almost as if she'd read his thoughts. You've been knocked out for the past few hours, but you're home now. Home? Impossible. They were still days from Konoha on foot, though tree travel could cut the time in half. Still, it didn't add up. Something soft and wet touched his cheek. You scared me, you know? The towel was removed from his forehead, the sweet scent lingering. Then something soft and wet pressed against his forehead. A memory stirred. Tsunade kissing his forehead the day he and Jiraiya convinced her to return as Hokage. Was this woman, whoever she was, kissing his forehead now? Is someone kissing me? His lips curled into a soft smile. Is it Sakura-chan? Was I wrong about her? No, that voice isn't hers. Unless she's using a jutsu. But the memory of Sakura lying to him shattered the image of her leaning over his bed. I love you. The words froze him. Sakura had said that days ago. Hinata had said it over a month and a half ago. Now this unknown woman was saying it too. A hand cupped his cheek, her thumb tracing gentle circles over his whisker marks. Your temperature's down. I'll inform Jiraiya-sama and he will... What? Jiraiya was dead. Naruto forced out a whisper. What? Naruto-kun, the woman exclaimed, her tone bright with what he thought was happiness. His eyes opened slowly, meeting brown eyes glistening with unshed tears. Thank heavens, she said. She looked familiar, but he couldn't place her. When she leaned down and kissed him lightly on the lips before pulling back with a smile, his confusion deepened. I was worried, she murmured. There was this bright light when you entered the scroll room, and then you fainted. Scroll room? He repeated, his gaze drifting to the wooden ceiling above him. He looked back at her. She seemed older than him, but not by much. Smooth skin, bright eyes, rose-pink lips. He caught himself staring before glancing away. You must have hit your head when you fell, she said, kissing his forehead again before leaning back into her chair. Now he could see her clearly. She was a little older than when he last saw her, and pregnant, just like Kurenai-sensei. Then recognition hit him. Ichiraku Ramen. Ayame ne? A door in the corner opened, and in walked someone Naruto thought he'd never see again. Ayame-chan, I take it the idiot's awake? Eru-sennin? Naruto cried, staring between Ayame and Jiraiya. His gaze flicked to her belly, then back to Jiraiya, then again to her belly. Jiraiya chuckled, pulling up a chair beside Ayame. You must have hit your head hard, idiot. Naruto stammered. You... He slowly sat up, shaking his head in disbelief. You... How can you be here? When you fainted, dear, Ayame said, placing her hand gently over his. I couldn't pick you up in my condition. So I used one of the scrolls you gave me to summon a toad, and had it send a message to Jiraiya-sama. You frightened your wife, idiot, Jiraiya added. Naruto's eyes went wide. Wife? Ayame smiled faintly. You really did hit your head hard, Naruto-kun. Jiraiya nodded sagely. You're out cold and... Wife? Naruto repeated in shock, looking between them. Then his gaze returned to Jiraiya. You're alive. You're alive? Of course I'm alive. Naruto-kun! The last thing Naruto saw before the dizziness returned was Ayame reaching for him as his body once again felt weightless, and he fainted. To be continued.